Morning tiptoed into Heatherwick village. Dew sparkled on the stones, and the air smelled like warm bread and mint. Luna wandered past herb gardens with her lantern swinging softly. The glass caught the sunrise and made little sleepy rainbows. Kai trotted down the lane with his tiny fox padding beside him. Their footsteps made a quiet tap-tap on the cobbles. By a little puddle, the fox sniffed a pebble that seemed to hum. Kai picked it up, and it buzzed like a tiny purring bee. The pebble warmed Kai's hand and made a gentle, steady sound. The fox's ears perked up, listening very carefully. Luna found Kai near the quiet fountain. Kai held out the humming pebble, and Luna leaned closer to see its soft glow. Luna lifted her lantern beside the pebble. The light inside the lantern and the pebble's glow seemed to shimmer together. At the edge of the village, a small path waded between tall grass. The morning breeze brushed the heather like a soft hand. Luna and Kai set off together. Kai kept the pebble safe in his hand, and Luna's lantern bobbed with each gentle step. The trail curled like a ribbon through flowers and soft earth. Butterflies drifted by, and the day grew a little brighter. Mosswhisper Copse was cool and green. Sunbeams slipped between branches, and the moss looked like a thick, sleepy blanket. They stepped into the woods, and the ground felt springy under their feet. The pebble's hum sounded a bit louder among the quiet trees. Dewdrops quivered on a mossy stump. It was as if the humming pebble was gently tickling the whole forest. Luna knelt and brushed the moss with her fingertips. It felt cool and velvety, like a little green pillow. Kai lifted the pebble and followed its sound. His tiny fox padded around him, tail swishing as if keeping time. Deeper in the copse, they noticed a faint line of pale pebbles. The humming pebble seemed happy, guiding them along. Luna tilted her lantern, and the pebble trail glittered. The stones looked sprinkled with tiny starlight crumbs. A bright clearing opened up like a friendly room in the forest. Birds fluttered and the ferns whispered softly. They stopped to listen. Far ahead, something sparkled through the trees, and the pebble's hum turned into a brighter buzz. Together they followed the pebble trail out of the woods. The air warmed, and the shadows grew shorter as the day moved on. The path became sandy and bright. Somewhere nearby, water whispered and sparkled, calling them closer. Bramblebrook Ford shone under the bright sky. The stream ran over pebbles with a cheerful, tinkling sound. Luna and Kai reached the stream and watched the stepping stones. The humming pebble felt warm, as if it liked the sound of water. Between two stones, a pale pebble glimmered under the water. The stream's ripples made it wink like a little eye. Luna stepped onto the first stone, slow and steady. Cool mist from the stream kissed her cheeks. Kai stayed close to the edge, holding the pebble up carefully. His tiny fox tested a stone with one paw and then hopped back. They crossed side by side, making little splashes. The humming pebble's sound stayed steady, like a guide song. When Kai's fingers got a few drops on them, the pebble glowed brighter. It hummed as if saying, "This way, this way." On the far side, the land lifted into a sunny slope. Wild roses nodded, and the pebble trail climbed toward open hills. They left the stream behind, and the warm air dried their shoes. Up ahead, the hills looked soft and welcoming. The footpath curled up the hill. Bees buzzed lazily, and the pale pebbles dotted the ground like a secret map. Honeyfern Hills spread out wide under a bright sky. The wind carried the sweet smell of warm grass and flowers. At the top, Luna and Kai could see far and wide. The humming pebble pulsed softly, pointing toward a rocky hollow in the distance. Flowers swayed like they were waving hello. The pebble trail slipped between them, almost hidden, but still easy to follow. Luna moved carefully so the flowers could keep dancing. Her lantern stayed close, glowing softly even in the bright day. Kai and his tiny fox did a quick, excited loop in the grass. Then they both faced the rocks, listening for the pebble's strongest hum. They walked side by side toward the rocky hollow. The sun began to feel softer, and the world looked calm and golden around the edges. At the base of the hill, a small rocky opening waited like a quiet doorway. Cool air drifted out, smelling like stone and clean water. They left the sunny grass and walked toward the shade. Luna lifted her lantern, ready for the dim place ahead. The passage grew quieter with each step. Behind them, the sunbeam thinned, and the air felt cooler on their skin. Shimmerstone Grotto glittered like it was sprinkled with sugar. Water dripped softly, making tiny rings in clear puddles. Inside the grotto, Luna's lantern painted warm light on the stone. The humming pebble answered with a brighter buzz, as if it felt at home. A puddle trembled with gentle ripples. The sparkle on the bottom looked like a little night sky trapped in water. Luna lifted her lantern to the wall and saw a thin crack. It looked thirsty, like a place where water wanted to slip through. Kai knelt by a pile of stones, and his tiny fox sniffed around. The pebble hummed faster, pointing right at the rocky pile. Together they saw it clearly, rocks had tumbled and blocked the crack. The grotto felt too quiet, like it was missing a gentle water song. Kai held the pebble close to the blockage, and it pulsed like a tiny heart. Luna listened, and they both heard a weak trickle trapped behind stone. A narrow channel curved toward an opening where golden light waited. The grotto echoed with drips, but the main flow seemed stuck and sleepy. They began to clear the fallen stones, one by one. Luna set her lantern on a flat rock, and its glow made their work feel safe. Kai used a stick to nudge a heavy rock. His tiny fox watched, very serious, while the humming pebble stayed snug in Kai's fist. Luna brushed away the gritty dust near a small gap. A cool breath of air puffed out, and tiny droplets began to gather. With one gentle pull together, the last rock slid away. A thin stream of water sprang free, sparkling like silver ribbon. Water hurried into the channel with a happy splash. The grotto seemed to wake up, glittering brighter with every drop. They followed the water's path toward the light. Luna carried her lantern again, and Kai kept the humming pebble close, still guiding them. They stepped outside, and the late afternoon sun wrapped them in warmth. The little stream now ran beside their feet, bright and alive. They followed the trickle as it danced downhill. Shadows stretched longer, and the air smelled fresh, like clean rain on stone. Silverthread Spring rested in a quiet hollow. The pool was there, but it looked a little sleepy, as if it missed its singing stream. Luna and Kai reached the spring and knelt beside it. The pebble's hum turned gentle again, like a lullaby. The fresh trickle slid into the pool, and ripples spread in wide circles. The water brightened, as if it had taken a deep, happy sip. Luna leaned in with her lantern, and the pool glowed warmly. The air felt cooler here, and the cattails made a soft shh sound. Kai set the humming pebble on a smooth stone so it could rest. His tiny fox sat close, as still as a little statue. They sat quietly and watched the water sparkle. The spring's sound grew brighter, like a small song returning. The pebble's glow softened, no longer in a hurry. It seemed satisfied, humming slowly beside the shining pool. The sky blushed pink and orange as the sun sank lower. Tiny fireflies blinked on, one at a time, like sleepy stars. When the light began to dim, they stood up to head home. Kai picked up the pebble again, and Luna's lantern became the brightest light nearby. They waved goodbye to the spring and followed the path back. Twilight crept in, and Luna's lantern painted the ground with cozy light. The first stars peeked out as they walked. The grass looked silvery, and far away, tiny village lights twinkled like friendly eyes. The hills were quiet now, wrapped in evening colors. The wind had softened, and the world felt slower and calmer. Luna and Kai walked under the new stars. The pebble's hum was small and sleepy, like it was ready for bedtime too. The woods greeted them again, darker but gentle. Fireflies drifted like tiny lanterns, and the mist hugged the moss. Luna led the way with her lantern, making a warm circle of light. The moss looked even softer at night, like a blanket for the forest. Kai and his tiny fox followed, quiet and careful. The pebble rested in Kai's hand, humming so softly it was almost a whisper. Soon the trees thinned, and the village lights appeared ahead. They walked closer, feeling warm and safe with home so near. Heatherwick Village was cozy and calm under the moon. Golden window light spilled onto the lanes like melted honey. They reached the square where they had met that morning. The fountain sounded gentle, and the pebble's hum was barely there, like a tiny yawn. Kai let his tiny fox curl up for a moment, then tucked the pebble into a soft pouch. The pebble's glow faded to a peaceful dot of light. Luna reached her door and hung up her lantern gently. Warm light from inside wrapped around her like a cozy shawl. Inside, everything was quiet and snug. A little cup of warm milk steamed softly, and moonlight painted pale squares on the floor. Luna climbed into bed and pulled the blanket up to her chin. She listened to the faraway night sounds, all soft and safe. Kai settled in at home too, with his tiny fox curled like a warm orange comma. He placed the pebble pouch nearby, as if letting it rest. Through the cloth, the pebble glowed faintly, then softer still. Its hum became a quiet, steady hush, like a lullaby. The village rested under a sky full of stars. Even the trees seemed to sway more slowly, as if they were getting sleepy. Luna's eyes grew heavy as she snuggled into her pillow. The day's adventure felt warm and gentle, like a story tucked into her heart. Kai yawned, and his tiny fox curled even tighter beside him. The room was quiet, and everything felt just right. Outside, the moon watched over the village like a gentle night lamp. And before long, Luna, Kai, and the little humming pebble all drifted into sweet, quiet sleep.